Most men believe they understand how to touch a woman, yet very few truly grasp what meaningful touch actually means to her. Not just physical contact, but the kind that makes her feel recognized, emotionally safe, and deeply connected to the person beside her. Thoughtful. Today on Jacker, we're exploring something many men overlook completely. There are certain areas and moments where a woman's experience of touch changes dramatically. Curious. These are not simply physical spots on the body, they are emotional doorways. When approached with awareness and sincerity, they transform ordinary contact into a powerful language of connection. Before going further, take a moment to ask yourself something honestly. Curious. Do you truly understand where and how a woman prefers to be touched? Not the obvious places most people assume, but the ones that help her feel emotionally open before her body even reacts. Many men confidently say they know their partner well. Yet when this question comes up, they hesitate. The reason is simple. No one ever taught them. There's no guidebook explaining it, and women themselves often communicate these feelings without words. They reveal it through posture, eye contact, small gestures, and subtle shifts in energy that many men unfortunately overlook. Over years of working with couples, one truth appears again and again. Many men rely on instinct, believing that touching the right place automatically creates pleasure. But for most women, connection doesn't begin mechanically. It begins with emotional safety. Thoughtful. A man might believe he's doing everything right, yet from her perspective, it can feel disconnected or rushed. Sometimes men even wonder why their partner's reactions slowly change over time. The answer is often simple. What feels sufficient to him doesn't always create emotional resonance for her. Size. Women respond to intention, presence, and attentiveness. When she senses genuine care behind your actions, her body naturally follows. There's a powerful sentence one woman once shared that captures this perfectly. She said, "Don't touch me just to touch me. Let me feel that you're truly there first." Thoughtful. That idea reflects what many women experience. Touch isn't only about contact, it's about opening a psychological door before anything else. One of the most underestimated areas is the hands. A woman's hands are closely tied to her emotional world. Holding them slowly and gently is far more meaningful than many people realize. It signals that you're present and attentive. Thoughtful. When someone lightly traces her fingers or holds her palm with calm warmth, it can create a quiet sense of recognition and connection. Over the years, couples who continue simple gestures like holding hands, even decades into their relationship, often report feeling more emotionally bonded. Science supports this too. Curious. Gentle hand contact can trigger oxytocin, often called the hormone of trust and closeness. Even small details matter here. Warm, attentive hands communicate care in ways words sometimes cannot. Another place many people overlook is the back of the neck, where the hairline begins. Tension often builds here without her even noticing it. A slow, gentle touch in this area, offered without pressure or expectation, can create a deep sense of calm. Size. It's less about stimulation and more about relaxation and reassurance. One man once shared that he casually placed his hand on his wife's neck while they stood quietly together. That simple moment created a pause between them that felt surprisingly intimate, reopening a connection they hadn't felt in years. The lower back, between the waist and hips, carries its own quiet meaning. Resting your hands here gently, not gripping or forcing, can communicate stability and presence. It says, without words, that you're there beside her. Size. Moments like standing close in the kitchen or quietly embracing from behind during an ordinary morning can feel incredibly grounding. Sometimes the most powerful gestures are the quietest ones. Another sensitive area is just behind the ear and along the jawline. This space is highly responsive, but only when trust already exists. Too much pressure can immediately make the moment uncomfortable, while a soft, warm touch can feel calming and personal. Thoughtful. One woman once explained that this gesture didn't make her feel desired as much as it made her feel valued. Size. And for many women, feeling valued comes before anything else. Between the shoulder blades is another spot people rarely think about. Psychologically, this area is connected with a sense of protection and reassurance. Thoughtful. When a hand rests there gently, it can signal safety and support. Because the gesture isn't overtly romantic or sexual, it often carries even more emotional weight. Size. It simply communicates presence and quiet care. Another overlooked region lies along the inner thighs closer to the knees. This space isn't about intimacy in the way people assume. Instead, it acts as a transitional zone that can feel both respectful and attentive when approached slowly. Thoughtful. It communicates patience and awareness, showing that you respect her pace and comfort. Finally, the lower abdomen area can hold deep emotional significance for many women. Thoughtful. A warm, gentle touch here requires trust and sincerity. When approached with care, it can feel like an acknowledgement of vulnerability and closeness. Size. For many women, allowing someone into that space reflects a level of emotional openness, not just physical comfort. What connects all these areas isn't physical stimulation alone. Women often process touch through both emotional and neurological pathways. The skin in these regions tends to be more responsive, and gentle contact can trigger hormones like oxytocin that encourage trust, bonding, and relaxation. Thoughtful. In other words, these aren't simply physical zones. They function more like emotional sensors that quietly signal whether someone feels safe and understood. The most important advice is surprisingly simple. Thoughtful. Slow down. Pay attention to her reactions. Let these moments appear naturally during everyday life rather than forcing them into specific situations. Genuine presence matters far more than technique. Many men later say they didn't notice a dramatic moment of change, but they sensed their partner becoming warmer and more connected over time. That's often how emotional shifts happen. Size. Women may not always describe it directly, but they feel the difference. These gestures should never be seen as buttons to press or tricks to perform. Instead, they're small doors that open when approached with sincerity. Thoughtful. Each thoughtful touch carries a quiet message that says, I notice you, I respect you, you matter. And that message is often what women value most, not pressure or performance, but authentic connection. So remember this, real connection with a woman isn't about chasing reactions or following a checklist. It's about awareness, patience, and genuine care. Thoughtful. When those elements are present, even the smallest gestures can deepen the bond between two people. And no matter where you are in your relationship, it's never too late to rediscover that kind of connection.